Good morning, everybody. That's what they said.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Michelle Quinn, and over here we have our producer, Adriana Alvarez.
I
And
gotta fix that camera for you guys.
okay, and when we get the camera up, you will see that it is also again not Larry Kyleman. So Larry is, or should be back in school, but schools are. Very few schools are back in, but we have my co-host, one of my very, very bestest friends in the whole world, Stacy. Say hi, Stacy.
Hi.
Oh, is that all you're going to give us? Okay.
No.
I know.
I need to warm up. I'm not a morning person.
No, neither am I.
No.
So,
I'm not much
Everybody
of an
here,
afternoon
we are
person either, to be fair.
not morning people.
yeah. So, how we all doing? Everybody, we've gotten through a whole weekend of, intermittent power.
Yeah,
And
intermittent
today's
A
power.
full week since the storm.
Yeah, today.
Like 11:30.
Yep. Today. So I guess we'll start off. We will get plenty of storm coverage. We will talk about that. I mean, that's all pretty much, all we're thinking about right now. But we will circle back to our producer and our wayward guest that never showed up last week. Well, you said that your brother is now back on his way to going where he is. So tell us, how
Yeah,
did AJ survive
I
this
mean,
week?
we're going to get into that real quick after we do some traffic
Okay,
and
cool.
weather. So my traffic is loading. For those of you who are watching live on YouTube, hey, we got YouTube back up, so that's pretty cool. But alongside with that, it's still the spotty kind of connection that just goes along with everywhere in the region with cell service, with Wi-Fi. So everybody in the chat saying, it's
Electricity.
buffering, it's not working. It's out of our control.
Y'all, we can't help it.
We cannot
Sorry.
help it. Traffic's still loading as I am speaking on that, and so is the backup music. But we're gonna say that now, even throughout the show, they're gonna be like, it's buffering, me. But at the end of the day, it's
I don't even
okay.
think my hotspot's picking up yet.
Yeah, but let's take a look at weather. Currently, right now, at the Jack and Van Til Studios, it is 62 degrees today. We are seeing highs of 81 degrees and lows of 62, with a 50% chance of rain in the region. Wednesday, highs of 79 degrees, lows of 67 degrees, with a 70% chance of wind in the region. And then on Thursday, highs of 80 degrees and lows of 64 degrees, all sunshine throughout the day. And that makes me very happy that there's going to be some sunshine. Be something.
Indeed.
Taking a look at traffic in the northwest region, traffic flow is actually looking pretty good, as we are seeing 65 going north and south is looking good, 80 going east and west is looking good, 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyway, Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan are all coming along great. You will still have quite a bit of traffic on the main roads and everything, as they are still getting the street lights back on, and as some businesses are starting to reopen, and that there's maybe one restaurant within like a 5-mile radius that is open, so then everybody's flooding into that restaurant. I've just seen traffic from not only just gas stations, but also from restaurants themselves, people coming in, coming out.
Where'd you see this? I'm sorry.
The first few nights, our bar in Highland.
Yeah.
Hour and a half wait for food, but you know what? That burger was fire.
Dude,
That burger was fire.
last week when Larry and I did a impromptu show on Friday night, and Lynette came in graciously, and we woke her up, poor thing, but she came in and produced for us. But while I was waiting, because we were going to go on at 5, but then it turned out to be 6, so I go over to the Taco Bell over here, right? And I pull up, and as soon as I get up to the window, I'm like, are you guys taking debit? And she's like, absolutely. I'm like, oh my God, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
So that was the best damn Taco Bell I have ever eaten in my life. Oh my God, it was amazing. So I'm sitting here, scarfing it down before we went on the air. It was great. So how is it in, Porter County? Because that's where Stacy's out.
I hail from Porter County. Well, I shouldn't say hail. I live in Porter County.
Yes.
I
Yes.
grew up in
She's
Lake.
a region rat.
However, we're personally good. Our power
Right.
came on at like 12:30 in the morning yesterday. We were watching out the window while the lineman
Right.
was in his truck and his thing and moving around. So yeah, it's great. Like Sunday was really rough. It was hot. It was sunny. It was humid. It was
Yeah, you had
So
kind of had
was-
it by then.
Yes, and you know what? I really try to stay positive through stuff like this. Like, try and focus on what you can do, and not just sit there and wallow in self pity. But like it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fun week.
No, it wasn't.
I will say I think there was power back the next day. The storm was Tuesday.
Right.
I was actually out of town.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
work when the storm happened.
She was actually out in Georgia,
So I missed the main event, but then flew home that night. We had wrapped up what we needed to do for work on Monday night, and then I switched my flight from Wednesday to Tuesday, and then I was like, wow, that was a mistake.
Boy.
So flew into Midway at, I think we landed at 10:30 on Tuesday night, and it was like, okay, this is fine. Filled up my gas tank, headed home, and once you crossed over Torrance, it was like a line of demarcation. There was no lights. There were no lights on the highway. There were no lights off the highway, like the houses or
Yeah, so you've walked
any
into
of
the
that.
zombie apocalypse.
There were no billboards. It was eerie.
Yeah.
Like, as someone that drives that stretch pretty regularly,
Yeah.
it was very surreal to not have any type of, lights or, Lerner and Rowe billboards lit up.
Oh, for sure.
Cannabis. But but so then I get off at Ripley and ended up driving in circles in Lake Station for 30 minutes because, there were there were trees down across roads. I think 130 was blocked. Central's a mess. And I knew that Portage was bad, so I'm trying not to get too far east.
Right.
There were roads that were blocked with, I think, gas leaks.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, of course, that's, the consequence of trees getting ripped out of the ground is it messes up the gas service. I ended up getting back on the highway, taking the toll road to 49 and then 49 South. There was a tree down on the toll road. Like, it was...
How does that happen?
It was just a mess. Yeah. It was in the far right lane, and there were, not barrels, but like the reflective things that kind of guided you to the left lane, and then, you get past it, and it was fine, but it was really surreal.
Yeah. The worst thing I hate, and I've told you this a million times, I hate that when you come home, because I was at Larson's all the time, or for most of the week, and coming home at 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, and you come back to the block and it's just pitch dark, and your apartment's dark, and the street light is out, and you have to 75 feet to the door. It's like, it is perilous, and all you've got is your little your flashlights from your phone. I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Yes.
And
you know what too, and I have to say, I am fortunate because my partner is like a borderline prepper. So we have mag lights all over with new batteries. We have a stash of batteries. We have these little LED lanterns that you can carry around.
He was
walking around with one of those headlamps with the thing on it. There was one night I came home and I thought, wow, our power must be back on.
No.
He had some kind of Milwaukee lights like rigged up in the living room and the dining room that looked like we had full power and flipped the switch. And so, we were good like that. We have a generator. Like,
sure.
I don't have stashes of meat. I realize.
Right.
Like, if I do that, I end up going through my freezer and like, oh, here's some 3-year-old chicken. So it's not a good deal if you don't use it.
No, cleaning out my freezer was a lesson in Jesus. The Kerrygold butter, and I love my Kerrygold butter, that I bought 3 years ago before my surgery, that when Tucker and I went to Costco to load up.
Yeah, might want to check the date on that.
Yeah, it's now gone. It's gone. And I know butter stays for a while, but
yeah, 3 years is pushing it.
Yeah, there was a bag of salmon in there. I'm like, when did I get this? It was for like all the bags of salmon.
Right.
But still, I'm just like, oh God. And yeah, that was the smell. And my refrigerator is 50 plus years old, so it was unholy.
Oh, so you've got several storms of
Well, no, because we
provisions.
but where I am, we typically don't lose power. you know, the last time that I lost power for any, okay, well, I think last winter we did. It was a weird, but it was only, you know, a few hours. And then before that, maybe a handful of times between then and the, you know, great tornado of '06 that wiped out Griffith right behind me. So that was the last time. And that time it was 5 days.
Wow.
This time it was only 6 days for me, which, you know, 7 o'clock, I have never been so excited to see my Ring camera go off.
Right.
This person is at your, you know, I'm like, oh my God, I think I have power. Oh my God.
Power and Wi-Fi.
Oh. So yeah, I was living the life, but let's switch back to tell us how your brother lived, H.
Essentially, we redid the interview.
Okay.
We
yes.
did that on Thursday.
Was he alive?
He was alive. I did not need to do any form of yelling whatsoever.
Good.
Because my mom had already done that, and like it was one of those like that I came in and he comes up to me and he was, I'm so sorry. I'm just like, you already got yelled at. I'm not gonna add on. You know, you were supposed to be.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
That's worse. So he felt really, really bad, and I kind of gave him a little bit of the silent treatment the whole day because I was over here just, I'm just mad at you.
Yeah.
But he came back in on Thursday, made up the interview, so it all worked out.
Okay.
The rest of this week was pretty fun. We spent most of the time with friends and everything.
Sure.
On Thursdays, we're going to karaoke nights. On Fridays, we're going to billiards, where I hit an amazing shot that should not have went in, and it did, in the correct pocket for the 8-ball, and I was just like, woo!
Look at me.
And all his friends are just like, no, that's not a fair shot. I'm like, it works.
Sorry.
It works.
Sorry. That's the rules.
Saturday, we had a little kickback carne asada party, even though they ran out of carne asada.
At where?
We had it at one of his friend's house.
Okay, sure.
That was pretty fun. And the one thing I did, the biggest party foul of all time. Mind you, I'm the driver. All I've had is water.
Right.
And I asked this man, I was like, hey, can you show me where the bathroom is? Because I've never been here. He said, yeah, no problem. Follow me. And it's basically just, hey, down the stairs to your right. But he's like, you got to go this way and no problem.
Okay.
I followed down the stairs. I slipped. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh. Yikes.
He was so sweet. He tried so hard to lock in. He is at his own house.
Right.
He is not driving. He can just walk into his house and go into his bed. He tries, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, I just feel very embarrassed because now I have a bruise on my hand and on my side because I just
Ooh.
And they're just like, you good to drive? I said, yes, I am. I've had water.
Swear.
I swear. I'm just clumsy. That not happened once. Happened twice.
Oh God.
And yeah, that wasn't fun. But it was pretty cool to see all of his friends and just see that they came out for him that one night. So he had a lot of fun. He finally did get his deep dish pizza.
Excellent.
We wanted to get House of Pizza, but they were closed throughout the week because of the storms.
Yeah.
So
bummer to be home
yeah.
and wanting all your favorite things and
that was the other funny thing with him being home. When we got home, we saw storm clouds. AJ has not seen rain in 3 months.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Flying in on Sunday afternoon. So then on Tuesday into the rest of the week, we're like, well, here you go. We can't do another historical event without you here, my guy. So one thing that we were stressing about was that he had to get all of his basically all of his clothes that they gave him had to get put to the cleaners. Stuff had to be sewn on, like his name and everything. So we sent it to the cleaners on Monday.
Okay.
And we sent it to the one on Ridge Road in Munster.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday happens. There's no power. We are freaking out
Mm-hmm.
because we cannot get a hold
Right.
of the company. There was a big storm. There's nobody
they have
on
no
Ridge Road,
phones. Right.
yeah,
They have
has no power, no service, and you are very lucky if you did not have any damage happen to either your storefront or your house. Anybody who's driven past Ridge Road knows how much damage they've received.
Crazy amounts.
He's over here freaking out. My parents are freaking out. And my dad was so funny. He was telling us that, hey, you know, I'm just going to have to break in. AJ, I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to jail to get your stuff. We eventually did get a hold. They were very nice. And they said, yep, we have it. Everything was done. I think he sent some to.
Miracle,
yeah. They sent some to the one at the cleaners over there. And then to another cleaners. I don't know where. But the people there were very, very nice. Shout out to them. They were able to help us even though we were freaking out. And so much so when he has to go see his recruiter. Just to say, hey, I'm here, I'm alive. What's up? And
I'm sorry, the clothes were not just laundered, but they had
they had to get stuff sewn on. They had his last name on, and the thing is, I do not remember what the proper names are. I think they're called camis, so he had to get his last name sewn onto them because now, hey, by the way, buddy, you're a Marine.
Right.
You can have your name on stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised they don't do that for them.
No, they make you like go home and get it done wherever you are at. But he had told his recruiter, "Hey, what do I do in this situation?" I was
going to ask because is it a matter of suppose he couldn't have gotten it back? Can he go to
without them? Yeah, and just and get like, ripped on.
Well, okay, ripped on is fine, but it's like, yeah, we had a storm annihilate my whole area. No power. Can I just buy some new stuff or, can you help me out or am I going to have to run around in my underwear? What do I do here?
Yeah. So the recruiter is like, well, at first he's like, well, hope you can get a hold of them. And then we're like, yeah, didn't think about that one. No. Eventually he's like, hey, I can't get a hold of him. What do I do? They said, okay, within, I think it was either Thursday or Friday. If you don't get a hold of them, call this number. They will tell you what to do.
Okay.
And luckily, we did not need to do that. But at that point in time, I was like, so are they just going to say, hey, we don't really have your proper size, measurements, anything like that. Here's backups. You may either be super, super tight or super, super baggy. But great. Hey, you have something. But right now, he is going to do his combat training. That's for 25 days. They did offer him to ask if he wanted to stay for a month to help out with the recruiting in Chicago Heights. And he said no, just for the factor of, hey, it's 10 days. I'm still in shape. Everything is still fresh in my head. Let me go now. So after 25 days, he'll go to Schoolhouse where he will do his training for his job. And I think my mother is correcting me on something. Let's see. But he'll do his training for his job. She says, shout out to CD1 Cleaners on Calumet. Yes.
Shout out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But he'll go to Schoolhouse for his job where he is a radio technician operator. I'm like, look at us both going into communication.
Yay.
Yay. But from there, he'll be home for a little bit because he's reserved. He is not.
Okay.
He's not on active.
Okay.
So I think they are reserved for about a year or two, and then they can decide if they want to go active. And one of our friends, his girlfriend was in the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So it's funny. They're swapping stories.
Okay.
About, this and this and this. And I didn't know, and I found this out, that whatever boot camp you do does not matter. It's still very, very difficult.
Sure.
That's not to take away from it. But I asked her, I'm like, okay.
The Marine, and this is from high school friends. So for me, that's, 20 plus years, 27 plus years ago. But that the Marines are way more difficult than anybody else.
They're
I think
the
Navy's
toughest.
there with them, and they're doing the same things.
Apparently,
less sleep, and 50 pounds of gear on their back, or at least that was the case in the late 90s.
Yeah. No, that's still the case now. But doing all the different training aspects of it, I had asked her, I said, okay, I know AJ was saying that everything was timed and like the boys and girls didn't really mix. So I'm just like, well, how about the girls? everybody gets to do the slick back bun to where your
Yep.
hairline's back here and everything's right here. I said, how much time did they give you guys? Did they give you guys more time or no? She said we had 10 minutes to do everything in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Shower, brush your teeth, comb your hair, get dressed, clean your barracks, make sure everything was neat and tidy. I was like, I would have cried.
Yeah.
That's like not even
So-
a full snooze.
Nope. So it was pretty cool just to hear them swap stories, and they're like, yep, this is similar, this is similar. She did active. She went in right away. She is gonna be 23, so now she's at home,
Okay.
and it's so cool. She's gonna have a little baby.
Congratulations.
We are
Excellent.
excited. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. She just found out.
Okay.
But with her being in the military, she does definitely get a lot of assistance with medical alongside with her soon-to-be husband as well.
Oh, that's
So,
that's not a bad
um,
deal.
It just, I was like, oh, we're gonna dress him up a little, him or her, a little military guy. But it was just really cool just to have them home. My family was so excited that he was home. So now I think he's able to have his phone. If not, they give it to them for at least a few moments throughout once a week.
Sure.
And during that time, I was like, okay, we're still gonna keep sending you all this stuff.
Excellent.
So it was definitely a nice weekend and very busy. I will say very, very busy
Sure.
because have all of these events. Okay, this day we're gonna go here. This day we're gonna go here. All right, family wants to see you here. Family wants to see you
Right.
there.
And now we can't do any of it because a big storm just wiped out the whole area. And so
Yeah.
now we're stuck at home
Mhm.
in
I
the
was
dark.
just thinking, right, that's amazing you weren't spending your weekend like helping somebody chop up a tree or chopping up your own tree.
So one thing my dad was very happy about, we had a really big tree in our backyard
Yeah.
at one point in time when they first bought the house many years ago. So when they saw just throughout the years that branches were kind of falling and causing damage to like our garage and like maybe neighbor's garage, we're like, okay, we gotta cut this thing down.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if we did not make that decision, that tree would not have lasted because it was already just falling down without derechos
Sure.
and tornadoes. And the other thing with that, during the storms and everything, I was in my car
Oh my God.
because I left here and I had to go take a family member to the train station. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I can make it right here. I'm 10 minutes.
No, you can't.
I'm 2 minutes away. Starts raining. I'm like, oh no. Okay. I can make it.
Uh-huh.
And then 30 seconds later, I'm like, I can't see anything.
Yep.
Pull over. So I was like, all right.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I
gonna
had made
die.
sure my car was far away from anything.
Yeah.
And my family's like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm parked. What do you mean you're parked? Parked? I'm okay.
Everything's fine. No,
Everything's
really,
fine.
it's
In my car, I'm just like,
Oh, Jesus.
it was definitely an experience, but going to where my family member was at, they had power.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, cool. Come home, I'm going to have power. Did not have power.
No.
We didn't have power for a little while. But now, with not only all of the heavy storms, some people are getting their power back. And then some
Right.
people, they're like, hey, by the way, we don't have power. Last night, a lot of people in East Chicago right now don't have power.
Yeah, because didn't they have a or something caught on
There
fire?
was like
blew
a
up?
flaming pole.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, I
which
saw
I'm
that.
sure was because, something blew up and...
Right.
Yes, let me see if I can pull that up right
Yeah, I
now.
saw that last night too as I was going to bed, and I was just like, "Oh God."
And I
Yes.
guess I say this just anecdotally off of social media, but it seems like there's a lot of people posting saying, "Hey, we had power, now it's out." It's
Right.
kind of like a cha-cha.
Right.
It's back on, it's off.
Yep. So, are you still powerless, or?
We had got power back on Thursday at 5 in the morning.
Oh wow.
But the only thing with that is, yes, we have power, we have Wi-Fi, but all the stuff that needs to get done here in the studio, we
Right.
couldn't put it into Dropbox. And even if we could, it's like, okay. And then now, yes, we have Wi-Fi, we have power. The service is still kind of iffy because cell towers are
Yeah.
down. So it was.
I wondered that too, if they needed power to operate, because we
Yeah.
had, consistently, I have Verizon.
Right.
And I had AT&T, but switched because we didn't have good service at the house,
Mhm.
which of course is critical. We both had like one bar. I would get like 20 text messages at a time every
Right.
couple hours, and everything would be like failed to send. So I was like, I wonder, because usually if you're at home, you're on Wi-Fi.
Right.
It's like, I don't know if they don't build them with the bandwidth that they used to, knowing that people have Wi-Fi, or if it needed, like if the towers needed power to run, if the towers were down, if it's like
Yeah.
at a concert where you've got all these people on cellular data
Yeah.
and it just, gets backed up.
Yeah, that was the same thing that we had, but my T-Mobile was, once it came back up, because thank God for T-Mobile, they tell you when things are down, and
nice.
we've got, it's down, we've got an outage, it may affect things, but we're going to give it like 18 hours. And then, they under or over deliver, they give you, and it would
Under
be fixed.
commit, over deliver.
Yes, thank you. And for the most part, once the tower was back up, it was, I was able to work. And so that was, I was very grateful for that, unlike, AT&T, which you remember my nightmare in January when I had no
Right.
service.
That was,
And then, and anyway, so, but yeah, that was, we're about, do we need to do,
Yes,
do we need to take a
we
space
can
break?
take a break right now. I have just got the location of where that pole
Okay.
had exploded in EC.
It
From
was 149th, right?
yes, power outage. Power is out again near Friendship Baptist Church and throughout parts of Chicago. We've received reports of a power line catching fire near 149th Street and Railroad Avenue,
Yep.
as well as live wire down near the post office at Kennedy Avenue and Chicago Avenue. So with this definitely affected a lot of areas,
Yeah.
including as far as Lear and Hammond,
Oh, wow.
because with all of my brother's friends, we're all in this little group chat. Their lights are flickering and like things are going off, and I put in there, I'm like, what did you guys do? What happened? And somebody had put that the pole had caught fire, and with that being said, that so there's a video of it that it's just like it exploded.
Right.
And they said, so this is what happened, and that's what's causing a lot of power outages. So I have some family that their power had
In that
gone
area,
out.
right.
And it was a little scary because it's a little later in the nighttime. And for those who had just received power, like, yes, I just got power. I can go grocery shopping now. I can imagine people who are now don't have power again. You just went grocery shopping. I just got all my food. I cleaned out my fridge and my freezers. I don't want to do it again,
Right.
especially with just like it's expensive now.
Yeah.
So, but yes, we do have to take a break. It is 6:30 in the region. You are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Don't go anywhere. We're going to listen to some spots, and we're going to get back to the storm coverage because we have lots to talk about today.
Yep. All right. See you in a bit.
Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
When your home needs help, the last thing you need is a faceless corporation or sales-driven franchise. At Myers Companies, we've been proudly local since 1951, born and raised right here in Northwest Indiana. We're family-owned and operated, built on trust, hard work, and integrity. And because we're family, we treat you like family. Your comfort and safety always come first. For HVAC, plumbing, and electrical done right, choose Myers Companies. Local, family-owned, here for your family.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly $500,000 every year to make sure our members are the best in the industry. From a 5-year apprenticeship and an associate degree at Ivy Tech to ongoing certifications in safety and new technology, our plumbers are trained for excellence. Every member is drug tested and licensed for your safety and peace of mind. When you need plumbing work done, make sure you ask for the license. It's your right to ask.
All right, we are back. It is That's What They Said on WJOB AM 1230 and 104.7. I'm so excited now that I now that I know how to say it. It's like I want to do it all the time. In the Strachan Van Til Studios. Can't forget that. So
no, we cannot.
Yep, we have Adriana, our
Good morning.
Our producer extraordinaire, my co-host Stacy, and with us, who just walked in this morning, is our fearless leader, Jed. Hi, Jed.
Hey, thanks for having me in.
Oh, hold on. Does it work?
There you go. So much going on right now, isn't it? It's just crazy. And it's nice, you guys, I turn it on and, there's a little bit of normalcy that you guys have brought.
Well, thank you.
And, I think that is what we're supposed to do is try. I mean, it's been a week.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that it's already been a week? And, I don't know about, I think like Munster and Highland, maybe like the hardest hit areas of it. I mean, there's been a lot of misery in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
But it just seems like right in that little area where the tornado went through, it's almost like Wicker Park's the center of it. And
we talked to Adrian on Friday night, and he was just like, it's unbelievable, the damage this time. He was like, I think we lost 400 trees, and I'm sure, because there's thousands out there. I think that I was talking to my former boss yesterday. He's like, there's 1,000 trees out there, so he only lost 400. He's doing good. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he meant just in the initial park area, because he's like, the best we can hope for now is getting the track cleared up, so at least people can go in there. But that's all they can do.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy.
One tree down is a lift.
Yeah.
400 is huge.
Go ahead. I
move on now.
Get in there.
You know what? Let's do traffic and weather real quick. Traffic, I don't see much and haven't seen much all morning just sitting at home.
Yeah.
Moving trees and so forth. 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65. And Adriana, as always, does the weather.
Yep. So currently right now at the Strike and Van Til Studios, it is 66 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 82 degrees and lows of 66. Humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm late in the area this afternoon. Tonight, we will see partly cloudy weather with a couple of drenching thunderstorms. Humid and any downpour can cause temporary flooding on roadways and poor draining areas. Moving forward into the rest of the week, on Wednesday, highs of 78 degrees, lows of 62 degrees, with a few showers later on throughout the day. And then on Thursday, highs of 81 degrees, lows of 59 degrees. And now we have our AccuWeather up. That's what we were missing out on the first time.
Okay.
First time it was just iPhone.
Hey, so we have phones. I don't know how we have internet. So,
I don't either.
What happened was we had been using the Elon Musk thing.
Starlink stuff.
The Starlink, and evidently it just petered out on us. And yeah. So I think it was, we left it outside, but you have that somewhere, right? I don't know how I'm on the internet also, so it is what it is. All right, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to hit. Now,
Okay.
Your partner is a lineman or something like that.
Oh, yeah, he's not a lineman. He works for NIPSCO.
He works for NIPSCO. So they're kind of the epicenter of all that's going on. Everybody wants to know when they're going to be back and so forth. And luckily, we've been able to stay on the air here.
Yeah.
And then for the first few days, it was kind of crazy.
Right.
The governor and Mayor Melton and Mervan and a number of other people stopped by or called in. And we were able to do that, but I think if you followed Bob Starkey, he was very critical.
Oh, he is hostile. Starkey was hostile. George Effett, Highland was pretty upset too when I talked to him yesterday.
So I think we're back to the same problems that we had basically during the flood, and that is that there's no central flow of information about what's really going on, right?
Right.
Certainly there have been, some excellent media reports and people calling in here and giving them and that kind of thing, and plenty of stuff on the internet, but the towns and NIPSCO, I think, was a little bit of a riff. And I've got people calling me like, hey, what happened to NISA, or what happened to building a centralized communication pod.
Right.
And I'm like, listen, this is, I've known that this was the problem, and it's always going to be the problem. Everybody's got their little fiefdom, and, oh, this is my town. Oh, this is my agency. Oh, this is my company. And everybody just but no one, even when I would bring up like, hey, all that really matters is that the towns and cities can communicate with the power company, with the state of Indiana, and that they're all communicating during an emergency, because for whatever reason, we're emergency prone up here.
Right.
And it is a problem, and I don't have a solution. Please don't call me. I'm not going to fix it. I did my, we've done it twice now, and, that is for other people to figure out. But that has to get better. If we had, I sat through a tabletop exercise one time where a nuclear bomb went off in a shipping container in downtown Chicago. Like, what happens? All right, well, we're 25 miles. Gary Airport is 25 miles exactly from the blast site.
Okay.
So you're just outside of like what they ground zero. So, that becomes a command center, but who's going to man it? there's just everybody, like even here, when we had the flood, I just let my house go to crap, and it was all sorts of damage, and my brothers and my dads. I mean, we all live in that same area of Munster that was most hit, as you well know. There's 12 of us.
Yeah.
You take the Kuziaks in it. And it's the exact same area that is just awful. Mm-hmm. I mean, the gawkers going through northeast Munster, I'm like, get out of here, man. This is just people's tragedy on display.
Right. And you're treating it like it's a zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, people driving through are treating it like it's a zoo or something, right, something to see.
Well, yeah.
It's like people's lives and homes.
It's hard to figure out. And now, I think in the flood, there was, for whatever reason, there wasn't as much insurance concern.
Right.
And now everybody's like, well, what do I do? What kind of receipts? What's reimbursable? Because hail and wind damage is part of it.
Yeah.
And I've never put in a claim or anything like that. And I don't even, I'm like, all right.
When you say the flood, are you referring to 2008?
2008.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very, very similar area.
Right.
Right.
But then it was kind of concentrated along the river. Now it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
But the good news is that a lot of people are coming back and, texting me, hey, I got power. Hey, I got power.
Right.
Oh, the power just went on.
Right.
But I just want to go through a couple of the things that NIPSCO put out yesterday. They're saying by the end of today, these towns should basically have all their power on, is what I understand it. Estimates below are when NIPSCO expects most of the remaining customers to be restored in these communities. So Beverly Shores, Cedar Lake, Crown Point, Hanna, Hebron, Couts, LaPorte, Long Beach, Lowell, Michigan City, St. John, Schneider, Sumava, and Union Mills should all be pretty much done by the end of today.
Okay. Right.
And then for NIPSCO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to some other ones that will be done by Wednesday, tomorrow, and that'll be DeMott, Hobart, Kingsbury, Kingsford Heights, Maryville, Michigan, Michiana Shores, Mill Creek, Porter, Shelby, Rolling Prairie, Wanata, and Westville.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a big swath. I mean, you're going all the way from Union Mills, which is where I think South Central High School is, all the way over to St. John, which is right on the state line.
Right.
Certainly where Adriana lives and where Lynette live in Hammond and East Chicago, they've gotten most of it up and running.
Right.
Then you go to a whole week from now. There's only two towns listed here.
Highland, Munster.
Highland and Munster.
Yeah.
So, we're living without power or internet, and someone stole my laptop in the middle of all of it.
Oh, God.
By the way, if somebody has this laptop or it was stolen. You know where I live, and so you couldn't park on the street or anything. I mean, there are, I think, maybe 2-story high and maybe 20 or 30 feet wide, just piles of debris and trees lining the street. And you can't really put your car anywhere, and you couldn't put it in the driveway because we had trees falling there. So I had to go park in the nearby church.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, I didn't lock my car. And I came back the next morning, and I'm like, somebody stole my laptop in the middle of a catastrophe from a church parking lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this world coming to? But so that's the point that I know that we have a lot of listeners in Highland and Munster that are without power.
Yeah.
And that includes my entire family and me. That just doesn't, we're just kind of sitting around with the generator.
Right.
And, every once in a while. I didn't know that you could run a washer and dryer on a generator.
Wow. That's exciting.
We ran the washer yesterday. I'm like, well, I guess can you just plug it in? And it took some gas, but
okay.
Now I have clean
clothes.
I have clean clothes, and more importantly, I have clean underwear.
There
which
you go.
Is, the biggest
Very
part
exciting.
of it.
Yes.
We went over to Nordstrom's, which was open, and bought some stuff there too. So I just wanted to point that out that most of this is looking like it'll be done in the next few days, except for Munster and Highland. It looks, and you could drive through there now, and it's just still, I mean,
I
you
couldn't-
can't see it being done for a week, and that's what they're saying. It'll be a week.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Wednesday I had gone over to my editors because she's in Munster, and to go, well, mostly first to tell them that I'm alive because I was in the courthouse and I had no way, as I'm trying to call people on my way home Tuesday evening, calls are dropping and everything. And so I went over there to, basically, first of all, tell her I'm alive, hi, I'm here, didn't die, good job. But, I ended up working over there. But going west, you don't notice it. You kind of, but going back east, oh my God, I was in shock. It's stunning how many, anyway.
There's been a lot of good stories about people helping each other
Oh, yeah.
out, and
I would argue too a lot of local businesses stepping up.
Yeah.
Like I know out by me, Strachan Van Til's was doing 500 meals a day, and
Yep,
I was
out
in
by
the
us
grocery
too.
store Thursday night, and they were about forcing you to take bottled water, even if you're not going to use it. Certainly, somebody that does.
they're doing their, I think their last day of the giveaways is today at the downtown Hammond,
Okay.
in Strachan Van Til, at the Highland,
Okay.
and at the Portage stores. I think they've done it more widespread, and
Sure.
they're kind of winding it down to downtown Hammond. If you need hot dogs and want ice and water, just cook. I don't know what the hours are exactly, but that's all free.
Yeah.
So I think Strachan Van Til's is approaching 100,000 hot dogs that they gave or
Nice.
cooked and everybody ate. And when you're working in your yard and trying to get things back together, you need some calories.
Yeah.
But Alexis and I are like, well, how, we got some food. We went out to eat
Yeah.
a couple times, and I'm like, well, how do we heat this up? And I got to, I want to eat. You
Yeah.
say, well, you light the stove, and then you're heating it up old-fashioned way.
Right.
But, doing it in the dark or maybe having one light,
Right.
that just gets flat out old. So, like, Kuziak called me the other day. He's like, well, Jim, what do you think is going to be, like, the mental health consideration for people? I mean, what is this going to do to our psyche? And in the 2008 flood, it was very localized. Parts of Chesterton, where the people, the two men died.
Right. Griffith.
Griffith was awful. I mean, it was localized along the river.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yep.
And I think all along the river, and then maybe some of the tributaries like Dyer got a little bit or whatever. But now it was so widespread. I think somebody quoted 80 square miles. Yes, I thought it was 800 square miles. Dodie Russell texted me in, and she's like, Jed, I think they mean 800 back. And
Yeah.
I have a question here. Where is Griffith listed to be back on with power? I do not see that in the communication that came to me when Griffith is supposed to.
Yeah, I
be
didn't
on.
see that either. I mean, I know that I saw a ton of trucks yesterday because I was out and about, and I know I still don't quite understand how my area is back online. Although I did see the Speedway was up today, so I'm like, oh, good. But I think I'm comfortable saying probably maybe half of the town is up, and they're still struggling to get the rest. But I haven't heard anything, to be sure. But I know that people were talking about being, and you keep seeing the excited, I'm up here, between social media and the ring cam stuff. People are. I guess Park West is back up. So
219-845-1100. Here's what, I came by. I've got a lot of people asking me, when am I getting power back? Who has power back?
Right.
That's a major thing right now. So when you call in, at least say, hey, I got power or whatever. 219-845-1100, and maybe describe what it's like. I know on my street it is 2 stories. It's like an alleyway. My wife said, you know what this looks like? It looks like one of those corn mazes where it's really high and you got to find your way out.
yeah.
But I will say that we were pleasantly surprised with the traveling tree guys.
Okay.
From Texas.
Yeah.
And they just came in, and I think I was their first one.
Okay.
And then I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't have any choice. I got 4 trees on my house. I can't go inside. I don't know if it will be, if it's structurally sound. One of them, my brother's got trees sticking out. You know where he lives.
Yeah.
And he had a tree into the living room. Across the street, they had a tree into the living room. And I was very close to that. And, but it's just surreal right now to drive. I don't want you to drive through there, through the northeast side of Munster or parts of Highland. I had a buddy in Ogden Dunes that we were supposed to go do something this weekend, and he's just like, dude, this is what I don't understand is typically those winds get pushed away from the lake. Remember when we were little, you would think, well, there's no tornadoes here because we have Lake Michigan.
Yeah, no.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I live in Valparaiso. I grew up in Maryville.
You grew up in Maryville. So what's it in Valpo? All right, I'm going to bring your mic down just a little bit, if that's okay. There you go, right
You're like a little kid.
There you go, right there. Yeah. All right, there you go. I adjusted that a little bit. So I need to talk right into that. But you're in Valpo. What's it like in Valpo?
You know what? There are trees down. There are trees uprooted. I feel like a lot, at least the people that I know, like a lot of people have power back. I mean, we were city water, so at least you have water. I mean, there were a lot of generators humming, so I'm assuming a lot of people were able to save like food and frozen, freezers, things like that. But I've never seen anything like it in the sense of trees uprooted, trees down, trees, giant branches caught up in power cables and internet cables, across the roads and people's yards. Like it's a lot, even out there, and it's not even the worst of it.
So when you call in, we would like to know that. What I would specifically like to hear from would be an insurance person. I don't know, like, I called my insurance guy, and he's like, hey, dude, just go online and submit a claim. I'm like, okay. So I submitted the claim on Sunday.
Right.
The guy calls me on Monday and says, all right, I'll be over. Can you meet me today at 3? I'm like, no, I can't meet you today at 3. I go, how did I submit that yesterday and you're coming to my house? So later today, I think the guy's coming to my house. And I was like, I just put it in. I mean,
well, I was going to say, and you're telling them not to go away, because if they're coming to you within a day, I'd be taken up on that, because you don't know how many more they've got. And if you get pushed to the end of the line, it could be,
well, that's what I said. I go, listen, I cannot do this today. I work this. We had other obligations. And I go, but I could do Tuesday. And he's like, all right, I'll be at your house on Tuesday. I go, well, how does that, you think, I'm going to submit it online. I'm going to hear in 2 weeks from somebody, maybe. No, I was like, whoa, and mine's not an anomaly. Kuziak came over to my house, and we're sitting around, and he's like, I got to go meet an adjuster. And I'm like, what do you mean an adjuster? He goes, yeah, they're already out there. They're already into the areas, which is good.
Right.
And I think sometimes they want to see what all the debris looks like and get a feel about it. But if anybody is, versed in that world, because there are tens of thousands of people that are going to have to go through their insurance. I saw that we were Governor Braun has and I appreciate him. He came over here the next day and he sat in these studios, and was really kind of cool that he came in and gave an update on everything. But he said that we got late last night that we got a federal disaster declaration from.
Okay.
So now people have to learn how to navigate FEMA money, which is out there. They got to learn how to navigate federal disaster area money. I know that Adrian Santos and Jeff Strack got together and figured out how to get
do vouchers
to everybody.
Yep.
So that's going on at the Hammond and EC. All right, there's a bunch of people. The phone calls aren't working. I came down to fix the phones.
Okay.
And evidently, I don't need to do that with Adriana here. But
Yeah,
we're going to
phones
take a
are off.
break, and then we're going to go through all your phone calls. We want to know who has power, who doesn't. We want to know what you do about your insurance company, and we want to know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Isn't that right?
Yep.
I think
I mean,
important.
that's what we're here. We're here to hold everybody's hand and get through it.
Sure.
So, be right back.
All right.
Need clean energy without the junk? I'm Jim Deedlow. I used to live on burgers, football, basketball, baseball. Now I'm gluten-free and more into biking, golf, and yoga. But I still need energy. That's why I love Paradise, developed by Emily D. Edwards right here in Cherville. My favorite is Paradise Packs Strawberry with gluten-free pretzels. Find it soon at Strachan Van Til or at spreadparadise.com.
Free summer music is still rocking at Fox Point. Our Wednesday night concert series brings Trippin' Billies, the 1985, Elton Jeff and the Honky Cats, Mike and Joe, and Dick Diamond and the Dusters. Friday Night Lights brings you Gold Dust Dreams and One of These Nights on August 21st, and Mexico and El Corazon on September 4th. Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is just minutes from I-8094, and parking is free. Visit foxpoint.org for our full schedule. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
Get ready for Wings Rock fun and prizes at Wing and Roll. Friday, September 25th from 5 to 9 at Bulldog Park Pavilion in Crown Point. Sample wings from Northwest Indiana's top chefs. Vote for the People's Choice. Enjoy live music from Backstory NWI and win incredible prizes. Tickets are $75 with tables of 8 for $575. Every dollar helps support Mental Health America of Northwest Indiana. Get your tickets now at mha.rallyup.com/WR 2026.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors bring the highest standard of electrical work to Lake County homes, schools, and businesses. From everyday fixes to once-in-a-lifetime builds, we don't just get the job done, we get it done right and up to the highest safety standards. When you need electrical work, hire the professionals who power Indiana. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community.
Everybody, AM 1230 WJOB
Are we back?
104.7
Yes,
FM.
we are.
Oh,
The voice and face of the Calumet region. In terms of traffic, it is very light. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Barman, I-65, they're all moving along pretty well. I'm not really sure why it's so light, but it is. Adriana Alvarez with the weather.
Currently, right now, at the Strachan Van Til Studios, it is 65 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 82 degrees and lows of 66. Humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm in the area late this afternoon. Tonight, becoming partly cloudy with a couple of drenching thunderstorms. Humid, any downpour can cause temporary flooding on roadways and poor draining areas. Moving forward into the rest of the week, on Wednesday, highs of 78 degrees, lows of 62 degrees. We're seeing just some intervals of rain throughout the day. Thursday, highs of 81 degrees, lows of 59 degrees with some partly cloudy weather, but mostly sunshine. We got a lot of calls to take, and that's what we're going to do right here.
Hey, wait. I want to say kudos to you before we do that. You and Lynette held this place together. It was very difficult, no internet, and we were able to keep it together.
I know when you guys were like, hey, can we get a producer in here? I didn't get those texts till like an hour after, and I was like, oh, man, I feel bad now.
Lynette was able to cover it. You covered it,
Yeah.
and Chuck Pullen came in, and Ben Cohort was a huge trooper. There was a lot of people working behind the scenes. We hooked up the footballs. They bought a Starlink.
I was going to say, how's football season?
All right, so I do want to
looking?
address it before we go. I'm supposed to be working 24/7 on football and selling football, and a lot of people are stepping forward because we've built this network. In our first year last year, we gave $50,000 to local high schools. And if you want to be part of that, your business does. We have 26 schools that have signed on. We do about 400 games live, and then we have an entire network. Steve Hanlon has joined us. Steve Hanlon will be hosting Friday nights. and he is writing on our website. You see Andrew Garcia's stuff on the website. So the whole network is coming together, and it's great CPM, if you guys know what that means and you're a marketing person. But we also hired a new person today to help us sell, or yesterday, Fatima, another Purdue Northwest student, to join AJ Preboy as our head director of marketing. He was not going to be the director of marketing because he's 22 years old, and he still, but Hunter Larincic got hired away from us, and he took a job at the University of North Dakota. So the pedigree continues on. But what I really just want to say is that a lot of you businesses have stepped forward to sponsor high school football and partner with, put your ads next to high school athletes, soccer, volleyball, all that stuff. So all you got to do is get a hold of me. I'm the salesperson, Jed, at WJOB1230.com. Phone calls. I know you're the producer and you're telling me now. So let's try to take one in. Hey, you're on the air. How are you? All right. What do you got going there? You got nothing.
All right.
Hey, good, Jimmy. Can you hear me through, or
yeah,
is it bad?
No, we can hear you. We can hear you fine.
Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. You can't hear us, right?
How about now?
All right. So he cannot hear us on the way back, I could tell. All right. Put your radio on. I hate to say
I can hear you, but it's choppy.
All right. Well, here's the deal. It is going to be...
You talking to me?
Yeah, it is going to be choppy back to you on the phone, but you're coming through clear. So say what you want to say, and we'll listen, okay?
Can you hear me now, Jimmy?
All right, yeah, hang up on him. I can't. He can't. There's no communication. Let's try one more. So the Starlink yesterday got smashed into the door. The wire did. So now we are on a backup PepLink thing, and we'll see how that works. All right, let's try another one. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. How are you? There you go.
See, the phones, they come in, but as for connection-wise, our poor little Verizon brick can only do so much.
Yes.
And I don't think the phone lines are going to be working at this moment in time.
All right, will you do me a favor? Will you reset that entire computer and reset that Verizon? And in the meantime, I will tell you what some of the text that I've got going on here. So we are able to stream YouTube on this?
Yes, YouTube is streaming, and as of right now, there's not too much buffering going on.
All right, and we just got to put up with it. We're in the middle of Hammond here. We did have power. Yeah. We were able to stay on the radio, which is just incredible to me. And the whole idea, Michelle, was that when we moved out of Purdue,
right,
it was, we'd been there 11 years. That I wanted to come
Someone
here.
Someone keeps hitting their microphone, by the way.
All right, and I said, hey, we have to be able to just turn the radio on in an emergency if we have power.
Right.
So we're getting a generator, so we should always just be on the radio.
Right.
All the other stuff like phone lines, we can't control we can't control the internet. We can't control that. But if there's power, in other words, if there's gas, once we get a whole thing, well, we should always be able to be on.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of important during these emergencies when nobody's talking to each other.
Well,
indeed.
That way. I was going to ask you, or as you've been talking, my question for you is, what has it been like reporting on this nightmare? Because, I mean, you've been, you were heavily reporting the 2008 flood. That was your jam, and I know you're working on stuff with it now. So what have been the differences? I mean, this is 18 years difference in these catastrophes. What's it been like for you?
It's just odd to me that the exact same part of Munster is getting just pummeled right now.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's the center of the universe again.
Right.
Because there's parts of Munster that were part of the 2006 tornado right there along Ridge Road that kind of wound up in Griffith. The main thing that is very disappointing is that, yes, during the flood, I came out and I was on for 6 days because there was no communication. And I'm just sleeping here. I'm on the air for 6 days straight. I'm like, what is wrong with folks? Well, NISA got started, and then everybody's like, oh, we got to be able to communicate with each other. What's the number one thing that happens when Bob Starkey's is all miffed and he can't get a hold of NIPSCO? They're not coming out to Dyer.
Right.
There they are in Highland, the same thing. They're miffed, and nobody's talking to each other. There's not the communication that. So once again, the problem is communication.
Right.
And I don't know as if that's going to be, fixed anytime soon, because I would talk about this in some of these groups, and then it was always everybody was just worried about what they had. Oh, my healthcare people. Oh, this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, all that matters is that you could communicate with each other. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not telling that message. And, well, Jed, no. If somebody wants me to do it, then do it right. Come in and hire me, and I'll create a way of that us all communicating in an emergency. But quite frankly, I'm just pissed about it, and I don't care. Nobody cared.
Right.
I said, you're going to be your problem again, and here we are again. People are threatening lawsuits, and it is our problem. We don't think that we're going to be in another catastrophe, so we didn't even care, right? Well,
right.
Here we are. Now, the second thing is that, Ken Allen's already suing NIPSCO?
Yeah.
What is that?
So go ahead, Stace.
Oh, I was going to say, I believe that's trying to be a class action.
Yeah,
I think it was over vegetative practices or
so
the way
that they didn't
removing
clean
trees.
up
right.
enough vegetation.
They're not proactively trimming around lines.
And, I'm all... all right, I see too many people getting anxious and hiring their own company to remove trees from their property. This is a friend of mine at NIPSCO. And he says, whenever practical, if trees have fallen over NIPSCO lines, especially electric, call it into NIPSCO. NIPSCO will have their contractors remove those trees in order for their crews to do repairs. Save the dollars, and that's from Anonymous. But...
I would argue save your life.
Yeah, save your life.
You don't want to be in a tree with a chainsaw when they heat that back up.
So just, we didn't quite get to the other part about the vegetation and all that. And I worry about people's mental health and how they're handling things, and, automatically to kind of come in with a lawsuit like that. And the same thing with the Bears when they had this press conference. I don't think people really realize the damage that, and being tone deaf during an emergency can really cause damage. And but in terms of those, like Jen, and you know where Jen lives.
Yeah.
You went to high school with her.
Yep.
They had all sorts of lines on the house.
Oh, Jesus.
So she picked up the kids, and
she's like, nope, bye.
Yeah, they just picked up the kids and left. You know where my sister lives, across, right next door to my daughter.
Right.
And my brother lives across the street from them. They all had downed lines.
Okay.
And so my sister and my daughter looked at the down lines laying on the house.
Yep.
And they got in their cars and they left.
Yeah, bye.
And I haven't seen it. They're like, all right, we're going so-and-so outside of this area, and that's what we got to do. Now, you got to worry a little bit. Now, I don't know how it's been in other areas, and this needs to be addressed. All right, are the phones working? Nope. All right, they're not. So that's kind of why I came in. I didn't think they would work without the Starlink, that our Verizon Hot Pack wasn't strong enough around here to do that.
Sure.
But I will say this, that the Starlink worked great for 5 days until somebody slammed the wire in the door, and now we got to wait 2 days for a wire. If somebody has a Starlink and they want to bring it over, we will hook it up, and we'll have phones within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So they got up and they left. And I see a lot of people that were like, well, should I go somewhere? Should I not? They want to go to get a hotel, and then all of a sudden everything's been jacked up on the prices, and people are looking at Airbnbs, and the prices are just ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
But the ones who stayed, especially in these kind of war-torn areas, it really does wear on you after a while. I woke up this morning and I walked out, And I'm just like, all right, I walked around, picked up some branches and so forth. And then I look in my front yard, and there is 2 stories high of
detritus,
10 feet around stumps and branches. And then I walk, and the next guy has the same thing, and the next guy has the same thing. And it's just downright depressing. And what is happening is it's happening all over the Calumet region.
Right.
And I don't know what that does to our psyche. What do you think?
Also,
go ahead.
Pause real quick before you get into that. You can do what Daverton did and just.
No, I'm not giving my phone number.
That's why I was like, I'm not want to do that either.
I get so. No, if you got my number and you want to call in, call me and I'll put you on.
But other than that, if you don't got his number, sorry, we'll get you next week.
Maybe Daverton will come over here or Kuziak because they want to give their number out because they can get business that way.
That is true. But go ahead, Michelle. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say that I think, and I've said this before, I think COVID broke everybody's brain anyway. So this is just a compounded, the way that a lot of people have been responding, watching it on social media. And, Stace and I have been talking about this for days. It's just.
People absolutely spinning out on social media. You see a lot of posts where people are like, oh, the expensive neighborhood up the street got it. And I think NIPSCO's prioritized. You know what I mean? Like that. To me, that's like paranoia.
Yeah.
Almost like you're like comparing yourself, and then it's, oh, well, the rich people got power, but the working class people don't. Like it's just like a lot of.
I think that sometimes people in this situation, I've been through, and there's been other emergencies when I've been on the air and tried, all right, let's work this through, and hey, give me this guy's number. Oh, I need to contact, and do a little bit of that. What bothers me the most in these situations is people that are just concerned about their world and they're tone deaf to the suffering that's going around them.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is that happening, right? And I got miffed. I'm like, why are the Bears doing this? I thought they were or they're going to do a press conference to talk about, hey, we're gonna help Northwest Indiana. We're gonna donate $100,000 and
right. And did they even really say anything?
I mean, it was just like I'm like, why are you doing this right now? Do you know what's happening here?
Right.
And I'm like, who is your PR people advising you on this? This is just ridiculous, And then another tone deaf one is I see Ken Allen on TV. Oh, we got to go after. NIPSCO right now because they didn't trim all the trees back, and that's part of the problem right now. And I'm like, maybe it is, and we could sort through that, but it's just like if you guys remember when the 2 trains at the South Shore hit there was a head-on collision, and then, the next day, there's Ken Allen trying to get ahead of it and, make a bunch of money on it. And I'm all for holding people to be accountable for their actions.
Right.
And maybe there is something that NIPSCO leadership did wrong that should be ferreted out so that we could learn how to better trim our trees around power lines.
Right.
But there's a thing about being tone deaf and being concerned about how people are reacting and how people are trying to heal. Now, one of the things...
Right. Yeah. If you don't know where your next meal is coming from because you don't have any way to refrigerate food or any way to cook it or money to go out, right? Like you don't care about the guy in the fedora talking about corporate, tree trimming policies.
Yeah, I mean, really what you saw during that is like 2 major things that are 2 really rich organizations and really rich people coming out, and one is just totally tone deaf. Oh, thanks for the tax increase that you guys are all going to pay. And then, but we're still kind of hedging our bets against Illinois.
Right.
And we're like, in the middle of all this, you're going to tell us that you're going to...
that maybe,
hey, Illinois, listen. And Roger Goodell's going over there. And it's like, at some point, I mean, we're all for the Bears coming here, and we'll all pay a little bit of money. I think it's like 80% say, okay, we'll pay the money. But I got to believe that that's ticking down. The longer they last, and the longer when somebody comes out in the middle of the next day, 2 days later, of a major catastrophe. Oh, well, I just want to tell you, we're still thinking about you. We're not committing, but we're still, and it's just billionaire money. And then you have Ken Allen up there in a fedora, many-time millionaire money. And I'm like, what are you people doing to the average person that's waiting in line on Holman Avenue for the North Township trustee office to open?
Well, I was going to say, Stace, I was going to say that at least Ken Allen is in the ballpark. We're at least talking about the tragedy. It's not the Bears, dangling something over. But sorry, go ahead.
No, and I agree that the conversation about NIPSCO, tree trimming, like being proactive, that's a conversation that needs to be had. But the story with that, the woman who I believe is the injured party,
right,
was at a hospital, couldn't have the emergency surgery. But okay, again, like by definition, if it was truly an emergency, wouldn't the hospital have transferred her out? Like, this is why Medevac exists. Like, we have wonderful hospitals right across the state line.
I'll tell you what, I saw this with the flood.
Mm-hmm.
People just making sure that they, not taking advantage, but putting their best foot forward to make money off of this. And
right.
it's just too much for me to watch that anybody right now that's their concern.
Well, you remember when the East Chicago, the lead stuff started happening, and that started, it started picking up steam, and there was a particular law firm that was sending out representatives in limousines to talk to these people hey, let's start a class action. Like, wow, that's...
So you get, that's just the one. It's just a minor bug, and it doesn't really affect what's happening.
Right.
You ask what I think is happening right now is that there's a lot of people that either are listening on we had a transistor radio and they have no power.
Yeah.
Or they've gotten their power and they've just got trees everywhere all the way around them. A lot of people got their power yesterday, tens of thousands. So now they're able to watch whatever, the little buffering on YouTube that we have to do right now, and that we're trying to take some phone calls.
Yeah, no, even there's some people that if they do have if they don't have power, they also don't got running water.
No, that's not true. Everybody.
I just heard two people I saw yesterday that they're like, I don't have water, running water.
Okay.
At all. Like, they're like, I had to shower with a bucket.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. I was not aware of that because most of, they're two separate systems. If indeed a pump station is out in an area, that would be nice to know where that is, who doesn't have water, because that's a next level. Mm-hmm. Like right now, I don't have any power, don't have any internet, but we have hot water.
Yeah, I didn't ask my professor where she lives, but she said she does not have running water. And when she had got to campus, that was the first hot tea she has had in 8 days. I was like, you must be going insane.
Hey,
yeah.
I know you're going to take a break. So
yes.
Are you able to take phone calls on that system, or no? You're not. It hasn't fired back up.
It's fired back up, but it's just still buffering and lagging. People will not be able to hear us.
All right. So what we could do is that if somebody calls in, they could just talk, and because Mad Max sounded great, they could just talk, and then we would not be able to communicate with you other than through the radio. So if you want to call and you got an update, when you hear the click, start talking, and then when you're done, we'll click you out. And I know that's kind of a haphazard way of doing things, but the Elon Musk, if anybody's got a Starlink at home, bring it over, and we will hook it up immediately. But that is all that will work here. Verizon has very little coverage right now, and so does T-Mobile in this area. And that's because the towers cannot be they're not fired up with their own internet, so it is what it is. I do want to let's take a break. But I do this podcast now about dealing with grief and trauma and loss.
Okay.
It's called What Makes the Cow Guy Cry. And it's a guy that I worked with at the Board of Trade. He's a meathead, kind of like my new buddy over here believes. You know, I'm a meathead, so I guess I tend to hang out with meatheads. But he's a board of trade trader, and he came home one day, or he was on the floor of the board of trade, and they called him and said, "Come on home." He lived in the Hancock building with his daughter, and his daughter had died of an overdose of heroin at the age of 17. So it's 12 years later, and now he says, "I'll finally tell my story, Jed." And he does it through Adriana and I. But we've had some amazing guests on. We had Dave Werpel talking about the death of his son, Jimmy, of heroin. We had Bob Grand, the Republican fundraiser, head of, well-known Republican nationally. And he talked about his dad driving down Ridge Road and coming out of the mill, and I got hit head on by some guys playing cat and mouse going the other way.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, and what they did. But so the whole thing is like, well, how do you deal with trauma, and how do you deal with tragedy? How do you deal with grief? How do you deal with loss? It's called What Makes a Cow Guy Cry. I said I really wasn't going to promo it until we had 20 episodes in the books, and I think we're right about there now. Is that right?
I think you already have over 20.
All right, yeah, we're over
at
20
the moment.
now.
I was gonna say, can we schedule that for a specific time slot? Because I will say, it's a great podcast. It's very powerful. Hearing it at 5:45 in the morning, I'm like, oh God, this is rough. So if we could do an afternoon slot, that'd be great.
Yeah.
As well as, guys, even with mental health stuff, and some people are toughen up, it's not that bad. Have a whole tree fall in your house, your basement flood, all your memories down the drain. And you tell me that you're just well, just another day in the region. You tell us that now. No, some people are really struggling, really going through it because they basically lost everything to them. What if that's their childhood home they grew up in, their grandparents' home that they had bought, and or if a family member had passed away? That is going to take a toll on your mental. So for anybody that's going to say, toughen up, it's not that bad, how about this? Have some sensitivity for those as well as that. And if you cannot, then, hey, drive past through these damaging areas. Don't look at it as if it's like a zoo, like we said earlier. But at that point in time, people need help, people in the region. Why do you think we're not talking about politics? We're not trying to divide people. We're trying to bring people together. Saying that is dividing people.
No?
I think somebody has arrived as a morning host right there, don't you? What do you think, Tracy? That was amazing. Stacy.
Sorry.
Your sister Tracy was over the other day. The reason I'm saying that is there's a friend of us and of Adriana that is she has cancer.
Okay.
And she's going through all of this along with the storms.
Yeah.
And that is I don't know, not everybody may not know this, but she's now putting it out on Facebook, and so I want to play this. But it's Gloria.
Glow. Yep.
Gloria Morris.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Gloria Morris, interesting person. Her mom was a Chico's family.
Yep.
And she recently died.
Yeah.
And she was.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah.
No.
She's got stage 4 colon.
Well, I didn't know that she had passed.
No, she's fine.
I think Teresa.
We're talking about her mom.
Yeah.
Teresa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Teresa. So, I mean, I know the family, and I knew she was a huge listener. When I complained once on the air, I said, listen, and it was just, me BSing in the morning. I'm like, I went to buy underwear the other day, and I kept going from store to store because everything's stretch now and spandexy and stuff. I go, I just want a cotton pair of underwear. The next morning, I came in, and there was 6 pairs of cotton briefs sitting here, and that was from Teresa at Chico's. They still had it, and I to this day wear it. And when Gloria comes in, Gloria, how are you? I'm wearing your mom's underwear, and she loves that. But they're good people.
Yeah.
Chico's closed down, and her and her sister operated it for a long time.
Right.
But Gloria married
Bobby Morris.
Bobby Morris, who's Hal Morris's brother. I hate to say that, Bobby, but And, you know, I've known that family also since I was a little kid. And Gloria has helped us out here, Adriana, when we needed it.
Yeah.
So I just want to play this. She posted something. Here you go.
Chemo Center, Infusion Center, Northwest Cancer in Crown Point, and I got cleared for chemo. My platelets were 71. They're still not great. They really should be.
All right, hold on. I must have something else playing. Let's take a break. And when we come back,
we have full phone lines, by the way, too.
All right, wait. Let's try it. All right, here's what we're going to do.
We'll try one.
We'll try one, and we're going to bring you on. You cannot hear us. You just need to talk and then hang up.
Yep.
All right? Let's do it right now. 219-845-1100.
Whoop, one second.
219-845-1100.
Chip?
Yes, go ahead and talk.
Jim?
Yes.
If you're in an unincorporated area with a well, you probably need electricity to be running the well. So therefore you'd have no water.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? No, he can't hear me.
No, he cannot. But he said what he had to say and hung up. That's what a lot of these people are going to do. We could take a couple right now.
I had not thought about that.
Yeah.
All right, my fault. I'm like, gosh, I mean, I just picture everybody being on City of Hammond, Water, or Indiana American. But you're
I
right.
didn't realize that you would need to show you how much I know about well water. I didn't know you would need electricity for it.
Yeah,
so just to go back to your professor, she doesn't have a generator?
No, and even if she did have a generator, it's one of those where you would need a very, very strong generator to perhaps do something like that, I would think, because to get the water running through the system, she may be using a generator for maybe a fridge or if for other needs necessary, charging electronics, especially when school we're starting. It's actually pretty interesting. We are trying to get all of our stuff done for orientation this week, and all of our paperwork was supposed to be in at a certain time, and they were telling us, look, this happened. We can't really do nothing. We cannot penalize you guys, so we're going to get it in. We're going to try to do everything. So right now during this orientation week, it's pretty rough because some people are like, I'm freaking out. I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. So.
All right, let's try one more phone call. 219-845-1100. You just got to start talking when you hear the click, okay? You cannot hear us. Hey, you are on the air. Hello, you're on the air. Yeah, that's not going to work. All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back on the voice and face of the region.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
The best just got better. Tech Credit Union is proud to celebrate being recognized with Best of the Region, Best CEO, and Best Banker. To celebrate, we're offering 3 special CD offers with rates up to 4.5% APY for a limited time. Visit techcu.org or stop by your nearest Tech Credit Union branch or call 800-276-8324 to learn more. Tech Credit Union, the better option for people and communities we serve. Member NCUA. Minimum deposit required. Offer subject to change. Visit techcu.org for complete details.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad. Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention.
Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger.
When driving through construction, LiUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
AM 1230 WJOB. Thanks a lot to Stacy and to Michelle Quinn, whom I've known forever.
Yep.
Adriana Alvarez is your producer. Thanks a lot to everybody who pitched in. Kuziak took a bunch of hours last week. Daverton took a bunch of hours. Chuck Poland, Starkey, and others.
I was there.
And
Me
Michelle
Larry.
Quinn and Larry was here?
Yeah, Larry Kyleman and I were. Yeah.
I thought he's back in school.
Friday night we came in.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we came in from 6 to 9, and that's where we were talking about. We did a whole storm, people were calling in, and we had a great call from a gentleman who, it all started because Lang Ice apparently is closed forever. So we were trying to find that out. Yeah, I didn't know this either. Wow. But a gentleman who lived across the street, he called to tell us that, but also he was asking about the North Township vouchers because he's blind. And he's like, how am I going to get there to get a voucher? And, just kind of talking about that. And we ended up getting Adrian Santos to call in and talk a little bit about, what he can do to, which if you didn't know, if you have a disability or you can't make it out there, have someone go to the offices in, either East Chicago or Hammond, that's where they're doing it, and show your identification, and they'll give you an application, because right now I don't think they've got phone or internet either, and so they're giving out the vouchers. You have to fill them out by hand, and then you have to give them back. But you can, as long as somebody brings the stuff for you, they will give you a voucher.
Yeah, and part of that is the Strachan Van Til vouchers that they're giving out.
Okay.
And we went through all that yesterday with Nikki, Micah, and maybe I can get them again, because I had other people asking later, how do I get a Strachan Van Til voucher? First of all, that was put together by Adrian and Jeff on Sunday.
Yep.
And they put that together in a hurry.
No, it was earlier than that, because they were advertising it on Friday, and they had 671 people. Sorry, didn't interrupt.
So here's the deal. In terms of the traffic, it has been very light today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure, but I just got this from Ken Benich. Eastbound to Borman is bumper to bumper from I-65 to Hammond. That would actually be westbound. So please clarify, Benich. Eastbound Borman. All right. So eastbound from Hammond all the way to I-65. Let me tell my wife, because that's where she drives to work.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that's all of a sudden very bad. But 294 actually looks pretty good. 80 going east and west does not look bad. And we are operating once again, still waiting for some internet. And if anybody's got a Elon Musk,
an Elon Musk,
an Elon Musk Starlink. What we really need is just the cord, because the cord went into we were running it out into the parking lot, and every once in a while people shut the door, and now it's all frayed. So they have a specific cord that you connect your receiver that connects with the satellite. That's okay. Our unit is okay. We just need that cord. If anybody has one and you want to let us use your cord or whatever, we would love to have that. But so in terms of the traffic, I don't know what that is eastbound on the Borman between Hammond and I-65. If anybody has any more on that, text me if you've got my cell phone, or you could email to Jed at WJOB1230.com. So that's your problem right now, and that is a problem. Anyone wants to go to Gary, anybody wants to leave Hammond, go to Gary, or go to Burns Harbor, whatever, you're in a heap of trouble along the Borman right now. All right, Adriana Alvarez with some weather.
Yep, so currently right now at the Strachan Van Til Studios, it is 70 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 82 degrees and lows of 66. Humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm in the late area this afternoon. Tonight becoming partly cloudy with a couple of drenching thunderstorms. Humid. Any downpour can cause temporary flooding on roadways and poor drainage areas. Again, low of 66 degrees. Wednesday, highs of 78 degrees, lows of 62 degrees. Thursday, highs of 81 degrees, lows of 59 degrees. As well as with the power outages, again, as we said at the beginning of the show, that the pole that is on 149th and Railroad Avenue in East Chicago had exploded, essentially, last night, and has caused people within the East Chicago and nearby Hammond areas to be without power. So that is another thing alongside with the damaging storms. And as I was telling my brother earlier this week before he left, I called him this morning as he was on his way. I'm like, I am tired of living through historical events that are not good.
Indeed.
I would like to not do that no more.
Yeah.
And he was like, but imagine how many things you can tell your future children. I want to go out. I lived through a derecho and I had no power for so many days. You'll be fine not going out for one day. I'm like, okay, I get it. Yes. But I have too many of those now.
Hey, Adriana, I just sent you a
Yes.
thing from NIPSCO, and actually I sent you the Spanish Spanish
Can I
language
have the
one.
English one?
So I will give you the English one. I
flip
don't
it?
know if you're able to
I
show
can-
that on the YouTube, but so
if not, we can read it.
yeah. So I'll just read it. NIPSCO is putting these out, and there's these little orange tags.
We could post it on social.
Yeah, we'll post it on too. So the electric service connection on your property has been damaged. In order for NIPSCO to safely restore your power, please take the following steps. Contact a licensed electrician to make repairs on your service connection. Ask your electrician if an electrical inspection is required. Number 2, once repairs are completed, call 1-800-464-7726 to have your service restored. So, doesn't it sound kind of odd to you?
Well, here's my question.
I have some information on this.
Okay.
Can you turn Tracy's sister
Stacy.
Stacy's up? All right, I'm kidding. I know
Okay.
it's Stacy now. I'm dyslexic, man. Once it gets in my, you look like.
Did you guys switch microphones?
Yeah, you look.
Yeah,
you
you
look
did.
like somebody that I once hung out with. That was named Tracy a long time ago. But anyways, go ahead,
I mean,
Stacy.
Stacy, Tracy,
Yeah,
Sarah,
yeah.
Stephanie. I respond to anything that starts with an
So,
ST.
I mean, what is this?
So there is a point of demarcation where the wires belong to you in your house, and then they belong to NIPSCO outside the house. So there are such, I am going to mess up the name. I think it's a weatherhead is the name of it. But in any case, if a tree falls on your line, that can get pulled out of your house. Like, it will pull the service out of your box, and you have to have that rewired. And it's not on NIPSCO to do that, even if the damage happened, if a tree fell on the line on their part, but if it pulled it out of the house, that's yours to fix. So I think in cases where they're dropping those, you've probably got people who are waiting for their power to come back on, and it's not going to come back on until they call a licensed electrician, have that rewired, and then they can, they can heat that back up.
Yeah, which kind of, I was going to say, that kind of sucks because who's got the money to pay for the electrician? It's, I know that's.
Well, I
No,
mean,
I know it's rhetorical.
It's the same thing with like water in the city. I mean, they can't go into your house.
Right.
I mean, I was kind of mad at the old water guy here that has since passed here in Hammond, and we're out there arguing. He's like, Jed, that's a foot on your property, blah blah blah. We can't touch it legally. This and that. I go, really? All you gotta do is reach out, put a clamp on it. And we didn't have water here
Or
one day.
you can put the clamp on it because it's on your property.
Yeah, and so I dug it out, and I did. I went over to Menards. I bought the clamp, and I put it on there. And he's like, well, you got to hire people. Hey, we're going to take this phone call right now on my cell phone.
Okay.
Okay, and he's going to, let me see if I can call him back here. But, all right, see, so the cell...
Dave from Gary texted me, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get NIPSCO guy on right now, but It cannot come in. I'm not getting it on my phone good enough. Let's see if I can get it now, but I'm Hey Rick, you're live on WJOB. How are you, man? I got a
driving in for another long day of restoration, but I'm listening, and I heard, and I think her name was Stacy. You might have called her Tracy, and she was spot on. When a wire gets taken down that is connected to your house, and primarily overhead, you have something that takes in that service to your house called a weatherhead. That is actually that is the property of the homeowner. So if that does get tore down or gets damaged, a certified electrician has to come out and repair that. And we do need an inspection from the city, the municipality, because we don't want to charge up somebody and restore their power if it is not safe to do so. I know it's an inconvenience, but life safety is most important. So that is exactly the process that you need to do. You need to get a proper inspection. Once that's complete, make sure you call, and NIPSCO will send somebody out there.
We're talking to Rick Kalinsky of NIPSCO. Rick, I'm just going to rattle off the questions that are coming into me on my phone. So people are getting these tickets on their front doorknob, and it says hire an electrician, and then we can restore power to you, and it says hire a licensed electrician. There's people listening that have gotten these tickets. They don't know anything about that. Walk them through trying to find somebody and getting it fixed, and then telling you that it's fixed.
Yeah, so most of your municipalities will have a list of licensed electricians, and you can find many of them online. Make sure that they're license bonded. What that means is being licensed in a local municipality or county. Most good ones are, but just make sure that they show that verification. You want to make sure you're getting good service. Once that repair is done, and it's a fairly quick repair, it shouldn't be something. I think most contractors are ready to do that now because this happens often, especially during the worst storm that we've ever had, and interruptions of service. Once you do get that repaired, once the city or the municipal district does sign off and inspect, then call 1-800-464-7726. We know this is part of the restoration process. We do have people that are doing this job even as people are out restoring. So it's a critical point to getting folks back restored. So we are ready for you.
All right, we went through the number or the municipalities that you're saying should be mostly on. There's a bunch of them today, and there's a bunch of them tomorrow. Highland and Munster says not until August 25th. What's going on there?
So, Jim, I don't have I saw that last night, and I'm literally sitting in our parking lot to head into our command center. I will call back and let you know what I know there. That was news to me that comms pushed that out. They're obviously working with our operations team. But let me verify that. And let me just explain for all customers, as these ETRs, it's a dynamic situation. We're expecting some rain today, so there's some things that might obviously slow some of the progress. I'll say this too. We also bring in I talked about this yesterday, but I'm sure we have other listeners. We have to tie in our larger transmission, then substations, then larger distribution. And then we start working in the communities where someone behind their house might have a line down and 12 people are impacted, right? There might be 12 residents that are tied to a particular line improvement that needs to take place. Those are what we call the onesie twosies. Those are the last folks, unfortunately, to be restored. If you know you have a line down that you can visually see or an issue that is exposed, unfortunately, we have to tie in the larger system to make that smaller repair. Those are the last folks to be brought back and restored. I say that because when you see that number, that estimated restoration time, that does not mean, everybody in Highland or Hammond or Maryville or anywhere, Valparaiso, you won't be out to that time. We are bringing back swaths of people through that process. That is our target time to say that we feel that we will have nearly 100% or 100% of a community restored. So I just want to clarify that. I've gotten a couple calls this morning. I owe some of the leaders in Highland and Munster a call as well. But that is the date that we will have what we feel is really about 100% of folks restored, unless something, absolutely sets us back. I think there's a misconception there. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have my power until the 25th. That is not the case. Most people will be brought back between now and then. But those numbers are dynamic. They will float maybe and change potentially. I hope they will get better. That is a possibility too. Talked to some leadership this morning on the way in. I was listening on a call. And so we are going to do the best to give folks as much information as we can so they can plan accordingly. I'll say again, appreciate the patience of all of our customers. Unprecedented storm. It is challenging. We have over 2,300 linemen on site doing the work. I'm looking at a few of them. I'm looking at trucks leaving the site right now. They've got their marching orders for the day, putting in 16-hour days, many of them getting 8 hours sleep, other folks coming on, at different times. So we are hustling and doing our best. And most importantly, we want to make sure people are safe. Our workers, our customers. If you see down lines, please don't attempt to move them. Don't attempt to cut the trees. Call them in. We've got really good open communication with our community leaders. They're letting us know of some concerns that are life safety in their communities. We're making those priorities as well. So I hear a lot of really good togetherness in the community as well, and really appreciate that. Neighbors helping neighbors, folks helping each other during a tough time. Those are good stories to hear. Love to keep hearing those, and just appreciate the patience of our customers.
Hey, Rick, question for you. Are you aware of any outstanding transmission, substation issues, or has NIPSCO whittled it down essentially to those onesie-twosies where there's a handful of people? Like, are you taking care of those now? Or are there any large swaths out that you expect to reconnect?
There are some larger, what we call source outages. What that means is it could be could be 4 poles that got knocked down in maybe what I'd call a larger distribution line. That's something that might, be on Ridge Road per se. And I'm just giving that as an example. Could be on 45th, right? That essentially is feeding multiple subdivisions. That once that repair holds and is good, we make sure we check the substation. It could be bring back 800 homeowners. Could be bring back 1,200 homeowners. There are some active outages like that. So we should see numbers today, weather permitted. We're hoping for some good weather, and some of this that might be coming in doesn't hit us. We should make some good progress today. But I think to answer your question, there still are some larger pickups that we have. I will tell you this. We have, last I saw, 900 poles that have been broken through this process, and they are distribution and even transmission poles. And a lot of people think transmission poles are the very large 90 to 120 foot big towers. Transmission poles are also the 70-foot towers. They're a little bit bigger than your traditional pole. Those are 69,000 kilovolt poles. And so what you will see there is, as we bring some of those back, and a lot of those are back, but there are a couple still outstanding, we will bring back large groups of neighborhoods as well.
Talking to Rick Kolinsky. Rick, thanks a lot. There's really 2 main things, and I think you're going to address that. Is a lot of people got this text that Munster's not going to be 100% until August 25th, and they're thinking they're not going to have power until August 25th. And then the other one is the reported explosion that of some sort of a transformer or something in East Chicago that has taken out some East Chicago and Hammond folks. I know you're just getting into work, but if we had any updates on what happened and what people in EC and Hammond could expect to get their power, all you got to do is text me and I'll put it on, okay?
Appreciate you, Jim. Thanks for what you do during a tough time and keeping people informed. So appreciate WJOB.
Right back at you, Rick Kolinsky. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Cool. Thanks, Rick.
Talk to you. All right. So you're right. I've got texts, too, of people that are out in EC and Hammond and that weren't out before. So something happened. And then, that was really disheartening because the wife and I are like, well, what are we going to do? We can't we don't want to live with like this for
Right.
that long. I mean, we're just sitting around and it's hot as hell in our house.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't mind a week of it, but I don't want 2 weeks. So when that missive came out yesterday that, you know, I should probably just go through it again.
That's a gut punch when you're expecting a certain date and you've kind of mentally prepared yourself to be good through this date, and then all of a sudden there's an extra week on it.
Yeah,
that's tough.
They basically said, yeah, it'll be by Tuesday, which was today. And the reason we know that is because Michelle Quinn's on Tuesdays, and that is she's the anchor. Boy, you know what, Kyleman? He's not in school. Why isn't he here?
Because I brought Stace in.
Oh, all right.
I could have had Larry in, but we wanted to do an all girls thing. But then you kind of came in, and you know.
I hate to say, I just had people blowing up my phone with news
You're the
and
boss.
stuff. And
Sorry, we just got to bring her back in.
Yeah,
It's all that it is.
exactly. All right, here's what we're talking about. This went out, and Kalinsky is kind of above communications
Right.
now. I don't know what his
He's
position
public
is.
affairs.
Yeah. So by today, they think most everybody in these communities is going to be live, and that's going to be Beverly Shores, Cedar Lake, Crown Point, Hanna, Hebron, Couts, LaPorte, Long Beach, Lowell, Michigan City, St. John, Schneider, Sumava, and Union Mills.
Mhm.
Pretty much, if you're in those areas and you're not done by today, you know, contact me. But anyways,
We do got 3 calls,
right. Oh.
and if you guys want to take those, again, callers, just say what you have to say. You won't be able to hear us pretty clearly, but we hear you clearly on our end. So we got about 3 of those. Let's just take them real quick before we take a break. So good morning, caller.
We're on till 8:30 today, right?
1 second. Let's see here. Let's try this.
it's 219-845-1100. Yeah, there you go.
Morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
You can't hear us, so
Alrighty.
just say what you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
try
say.
to listen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I can
it
hear you
goes.
through YouTube.
Yep. Okay, go ahead. Say what you need to say, and
All right.
then we'll go from there.
Okay, a couple things. First of all, yes, you do need to put the Cow Guy programs on at a set time, because I'll tell you what, when the computer is regenerating, you hear the same things 4 or 5 times a day, and it's kind of depressing. So that's number one. Number two, I've been saying for years that NIPSCO should be looking at taking their aerial and putting it underground. And somebody was on the radio program last week, and they said, oh, well, it's too expensive. Yes, the initial cost is too expensive, but look at what it has come to when we have a storm like this. Most of the areas that didn't lose power was because of the fact that their infrastructure was underground. Okay? So that's what you have to look at. And if we've been paying all these increases on our NIPSCO bills for the last several years because they're supposed to be using the money to improve their infrastructure, they're not improving the infrastructure. All they're doing is putting Band-Aids on everything.
Yep.
So, you know, it's really, and I guess the whole thing really fires me up because of the fact that we have a fire station in our city that's 6 blocks down from the fire station. They can't get the fire trucks through because there's lines down. And this has been since last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't firehouses and hospitals supposed to be the number one priority?
Yep.
Hospitals are.
Can you hear us, by the way?
Don't you think that? Yeah, I can hear you because I'm listening to YouTube on my TV.
All right, so it's delayed. It's kind of like old time party line or something.
Right.
So you can hear us. So here's the thing. We just had Kalinsky.
I can hear you on the phone now too.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. So we just had Kalinsky on from NIPSCO, and he's trying to walk us through this moment.
Right.
Okay. I understand your frustration because I got to tell you, every municipality leader that I have talked with, maybe 7, they are all saying the same thing. They're miffed at NIPSCO in one way or another. Okay. These things need to be aired and they need to be dealt with and they need to be addressed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened last
Absolutely.
time with the flood is I was like, hey, listen, man, you got to address communication. I went on for 6 days. I almost got in a fist fight with Bernie Zeman and, you know, there's plenty of other municipal leaders that are angry with me because I didn't do this. I didn't do it. But it's not my, I'll do what I can do.
Right.
But this will go away, and then that won't be dealt with, is my guess. Okay? And it'll same thing with Dyer.
That's a pretty good guesstimation.
Yeah, and the same thing with Dyer and Bob Starkey just can't even sit still. He's so pissed at how things are, feels
He's
like
on ABC News.
Yeah,
right?
he's on ABC, NBC News and telling the story.
Yeah.
Same thing with people in, I'll just say, at Highland. There's some Munster elected officials that are disheartened. I think Jonathan Peterson went on with Starkey. And you have it everywhere across the way. This, of course, is an elected official, too, I think. And all I can say is I've done this enough that we just got to get through the moment, okay? And as Kalinsky said, the moment is here, and it's getting stretched out. It was supposed to be done today in most communities. It's not going to be. And there's plenty of people without power, tens of thousands, plenty of people that can't get their fire trucks out, plenty of people that can't get to the hospital, plenty of people that can't get to North Township and get their vouchers. There are so many people still hurting. But what I'm saying to you, caller, is don't forget this moment. Remember how pissed you are.
Oh, I won't.
And how pissed everybody. I told Starkey, I go, just bottle it and just hold it. You're getting a lot of attention for your dissatisfaction, but you've got to come back to it. What happens is it dissipates, and then you're like, oh, man, I just can't even deal with it. It's a PTSD thing. And I'll tell you right off the bat, the PTSD for the flood is still real for people in the north end of Munster. My sister couldn't take it. I will never go through this again. She gets in her car and she goes to her daughter's house. My daughter, same thing. She lived through it as a 3-year-old, boom, a 4-year-old, and she remembers some of it and how bad it was and how our house was going to float away and that kind of thing. These things got to be dealt with afterwards. I will make a pledge to you that I will deal with it from the kind of like the mental health and the behavioral, but the structural governmental thing, that's on you. You cannot forget how you feel right now and what you're going to do about it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
But this is just absolutely ridiculous. Why do we keep paying for the increases to improve the infrastructure when the infrastructure is not getting improved?
Absolutely.
I mean, let me jump in here. NIPSCO is a publicly traded company. They're concerned about profits. They're concerned about shareholder value. They're concerned with maximizing your rate and providing service with the lowest cost possible to return value to their shareholders. Unfortunately, it's a public utility. We all depend on it. We don't have any choice in the matter. There's no alternative. We can't dial up another company like we would with internet. But I think people forget that. And yes, I know Rick was on. He was very nice. There's a lot of apologizing for inconvenience, and there's a lot of thanking people for their patience. But at the end of the day, if you don't have power, if you're not willing to compensate the people that are doing the work, and I say this in the sense that it's NIPSCO leadership that's setting the strategy and the directive. This is not the people that are out working on your lines. I think they're just as much a victim of it as everybody else. And they all live in the area. I don't think that the NIPSCO, anyone with a C in the title for NIPSCO or NiSource, I don't think they live locally anymore. Once upon a time, when they lived at the neighborhoods, there was some accountability. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Caller, how bad is it in Hobart, Portage, Chesterton?
Well, I have somebody come into the door, but I'm gonna leave you with one thing before I get off the phone, and that is they screwed up when they cut back on the construction division, and they screwed up when they cut back on the line department. Corporate thinking is never common sense thinking. Have a good day.
Bye now.
No, he's right.
So
I would argue, too, when they did the lockout earlier this year, they lost a lot of good people. I think people who were eligible for retirement that didn't want to deal with it were out. I think there were a lot of really good people in line and substation that left to go to contractors. And I don't think they're backfilling them. They're backfilling them with contractors. So you've got people that don't know the area. They don't know the addresses. They don't know the local infrastructure and how that works, trying to repair it. They're doing the best they can, but that familiarity is important. Like having your own employees is important.
I was going to, kind of piggyback off of that. In the story that we wrote yesterday, my colleague Maya interviewed this gentleman, Citizens Action Coalition Program Director Ben Inskeep. And here's his prediction for what's going to happen with all of this. He said, Ben Inskeep said it's possible NIPSCO could request action from the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission to help pay off restoration costs later. In general, utilities build a certain allowance to pay for storms in their rates, he added. But for a major unique storm like this that goes maybe significantly above and beyond their typical year-to-year storms, and especially when they're particularly costly to repair from, utilities do have the potential to come to the IURC and ask for permission to defer the amount they're spending to make those repairs and, in the future, recover those costs, Inskeep said. It's typical for that to be added into the next rate case, Inskeep said. NIPSCO's next rate case is in 2028. It is really a question of how big the cost of this is, he said, adding that it's too soon to tell what the impact on the consumers will be. There's potential, too, that this type of data gets kind of baked into NIPSCO's baseline storm data, and in future rate cases, they ask for a higher amount of storm expenses built into their rates on a year-to-year basis. So,
hey, take a short break. Stay on the line. We'll try to bring your call in. You're going till 8:30, correct?
Yep. Yes.
All right, so we'll do one more segment, and then I got to go too. All right, we'll be right back.
Thanks, Ben.
Voice and
Pastor
face of the
Eric
region.
Boone, pastor of the Tree of Life Church here in the great city of Gary, Indiana, the Notre Dame Credit Union. Go beyond and above to make sure that we are in position to make that greater impact. Listen, this credit union is one of a kind, and I'm looking forward to the future because I know that we will continue to do greater things together, and I'm forever grateful for a credit union like this.
Visit NotreDameFCU.com.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly $500,000 every year to make sure our members are the best in the industry. From a 5-year apprenticeship and an associate degree at Ivy Tech to ongoing certifications in safety and new technology, our plumbers are trained for excellence. Every member is drug tested and licensed for your safety and peace of mind. When you need plumbing work done, make sure you ask for the license. It's your right to ask.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad. Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention. Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
AM 1230 WJOB 1047. I'm Jim Deedle. I'm the owner here. And I just want to thank Adriana and Lynette are kind of running WJOB along with Lori Whalen. I don't really have that much to do. And I will tell you why. It's my vision, and people are not really sure that it can happen. But I am of the opinion that we could bring together all the local high schools and local businesses and fans and other media are joining us on our platform, the Heartland Sports Network. And it is my mission to get money back to these high schools. And it was given to me by guys like Jimmy Mullaney and Sonny Santana, Robbie Guire, Dewan Marrero. They're like, Jed, you guys could start up a Big Ten network and you could get money for these high schools. And we did it last year in the first year. And I want to thank everybody who signed up, everywhere from Strachan Van Tills to Tech Federal Credit Union to Westland and Bennett. You guys have all been great. But if you're listening and you want to hear about it, just get a hold of me and AJ Preboy and Fatima Tirado and a couple other people. We are of the opinion that we're going to start something here in Northwest Indiana. You guys laughed when I bought WJOB. Some of you thought, how are you going to resurrect that?
You did it.
We did it. It's good. Adriana and Lynette and Lori don't need me. I probably shouldn't be stepping on your toes today. Kyleman should be here with you, and I'm going to talk to him. But
Listen. We're actually starting something soon.
I'm just saying, he's just sitting home and he's just bugged that he can't be on right
he's
now.
He's in the chat.
Because you guys wouldn't let him on. He's good.
Not today. No,
Larry, say hi in the chat.
Larry is amazing. He is absolutely top notch. He and I are working on something.
All right,
so
good enough.
But anyway, we're getting back to callers. Dave from Gary messaged me and he said that I was at NIPSCO yesterday. I spoke with the project manager. He told me the first district in Gary will not get power until approximately next Tuesday. So that's the Miller area, which is kind of, off the beaten path. He said Glen Ryan, Etna, and Miller are a disaster. But in good news, Andrean students are back today.
Okay.
So our Munster, or wait, not Munster,
not.
St. Thomas More is in.
Really?
To finish my thing there is that if you're a business and you're like, wow, you guys gave $50,000 to the high schools, because these businesses stepped up. If you want to be one of those businesses that steps up, all you got to do is call us. And I can tell you this, Rick Kalinsky, who just called in, he told me about a year ago, he goes, Jed, you have to get numbers. You have to give data. We have that now. Our data is better than anybody. And you're supporting high school people, and that's why I'm not running WJOB anymore. Lori Whalen, Adriana, and Lynette are. So I want to just calm this down before we take phone calls.
Yeah.
We had Kalinsky on. We know we're all getting texts about people that are angry. You heard the Hobart guy.
Yeah.
He's angry. You heard Starkey yesterday. I mean, what is really evolving here is that the folks in the municipalities are pissed.
Yeah.
Almost every last one of them, okay?
Right.
You had the little explosion in EC last night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's everywhere. And all I said to Copel was the same thing. Just remember it and try to fix it later. Because after 2008, no one wanted to fix the communication.
That was Mark. It didn't dawn. I'm sorry. Okay.
But
hey, Mark,
anyways,
what's up, man?
He's a huge supporter of everything we do.
Yes, he is.
I've never seen him angry. Now, he's angry right now.
Yeah.
So I want him to bottle that. And he's standing up for his community.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in that same situation with wires down, and they just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah.
But you heard that Kalinsky and NIPSCO have 2,300 linemen in.
Uh-huh.
And we have to understand this is it's an inland hurricane.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Uh-huh.
It was an inland hurricane, and we need to get through this week.
Right.
Dabberton will be on Wednesday. Who do you have Thursday, Adriana?
Thursday is Dan Repay, so he can definitely
poor Repay.
He can definitely talk about the flooding damage and the cause for a plan of action.
Yeah, and he'll be able to talk about that, and then Starkey will be here on Friday himself.
Yeah.
If he could get off of ABC and NBC News.
Yeah, he's big time now.
I just want to say those two things. We just got to get through the week.
Yeah.
Everybody just take a deep breath. We'll be here. There will be very experienced people. Michelle Quinn's been covering news for a lot of decades.
Three
Dabberton's
decades.
been covering for a lot of decades. Repay knows it for a lot of decades, and Starkey's probably the youngest guy doing that. So they will carry you through, and they will get you all the information. But you got to do your part. We have to take a breath. We have to get through Friday. Then you can start getting pissed next week. But until then, I mean, we just got to get through. That's it.
Right. But the anger, and, we keep going back to this, the anger, instead of, I mean, we're all mad, but our government officials, okay, can we finally work together? Can we band together and put our collective anger and, take it to because I know George F. said he wants to go to the IURC. Because he's like, we got, for exactly that reason. We're getting these, we had these rate increases. And, NIPSCO's going to probably try to, get some more money because, this was really expensive. But what do you...
First of all, George F., great guy.
Yeah.
Less than 10% chance he'll do anything because I heard this from 50 local officials.
Exactly.
We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this.
Well,
and then it goes away because they
right.
go on to their lives. By the way, we're going to take some phone calls. And following us, just so you know, is going to be updates from Dave Nellums and others on the Town of Munster
There you
show.
go.
You're going to get a lot of details from Nellums and what's going on in Munster, which kind of Highland might be the epicenter along with Munster.
Yeah.
But there's little epicenters everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
including Valparaiso. All right.
Yep.
Tracy's here with us along with Michelle Quinn and
Tracy.
I know.
You'll
come
be
on.
Tracy today.
You're Tracy. And Adriana Alvarez is running the show. But let's see if we could take your phone calls. 219-845.
We got one right here.
There you go. 219-845-1100. Call us and tell us what's going on. Hey, you're on the air.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Listen, I disagree with you on the take with respect to Ken Allen filing an action against NIPSCO. I think it's long overdue, and that's a big case. That's a reckoning. That's not just a
that's gonna be
call
interesting
for accountability. That's a reckoning. They're gonna scrutinize everything. How much is allocated for profits, for stock, dividends, the whole 9 yards. The status of its monopoly and everything else, and as a public utility, what is the new scope of that? And then you're going to get into all these third-party derivative suits because NIPSCO's going to say, well, if I'm liable for all this, then so are you, A, B, C, D, and E company. This is monumental, and he's suing under negligence theory, and he's saying that this sort of thing was inevitable. Well, those things are deemed acts of God, aren't they? Well, that's a whole different ballgame here. We're going to see some real redefinition of insurance coverage too. This suit is huge.
Hey, caller, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. So
yeah, I can hear you, but you're breaking up. I can hear you better on my radio.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk. Just turn the radio on for a second, okay? I am not saying I very much appreciate the accountability that Ken Allen and Wesleyan Bennett, Verdoliak, all they do good work in getting people reparations, and they should continue to do this. What I'm saying is the timing during a moment is running against what I'm trying to do and what I know we need to do, and that is to get through this. That, of course, he had to get out and be the first guy so that he gets the class action and makes the most money. I get that. But it's not something we need this week. It is poor.
Well, that's your opinion.
And that is my opinion. I
don't find that relevant at all.
Well, I mean, that's
so, just because you find it relevant doesn't mean it's relevant.
Hey, I very much appreciate your opinion on that, but I've been doing this for a long time. I know in my mind that this is bad timing.
How's that going to affect the validity of the lawsuit?
So you want us? All right.
And they're getting.
We're trying to figure out who gets a voucher so they can get food.
Well, what's that got to do with the lawsuit?
Okay,
Jim?
and then
we have to do with the lawsuit.
Exactly. That's my point. Where is that? Who's being?
Give me a break.
All right. Well, we could always disagree.
Who made you, God, to call balls and strikes about what's timely and what's not timely?
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. You see, all right, thanks for the phone call. You see, this is the kind of thing that is inevitable, is anger. And like Walt called in the other day, and he's like, oh, this is all the fault of North County Democrats. Okay? Huh? And I was like, I can't do this right now. I can't do Ken Allen's lawsuit. I can't do the Bears saying, Illinois, look, here's another pity cry. I can't do it because it's all BS at this point.
Sure.
What is not BS is that people can't eat. They can't wash their clothes. They don't have any power. They can't get on the internet. They can't communicate.
People's basic needs are not being met. And yes, to your point, I think Ken Allen emerging in this moment is tone deaf to a lot of people.
It's tone deaf.
I mean, and maybe the person who, and look, like, he has some great points. Like, I think he's right about accountability. I think peeling back the layers internally at NIPSCO and getting numbers on things and, you know, having to account for their business practices. Yes, like, absolutely, that needs to happen. But Ken Allen's press conference with the fedora, you know, when people don't have internet to watch it on, or maybe power to,
I've been through this, and I don't care what this. There's so much BS right now, and here's a layer of BS. I love hearing all these elected officials. They're all angry about NIPSCO. They're all angry. I'm going to go to the IURC. I'm going to do that. They're not going to do diddly, in my mind. And it's just blowing off steam. And I like people to blow off steam. Like that caller there, blow off some steam. Keep going. I want to hear
swing for the fences.
Yeah, swing for, and then, but I could tell you this, that probably not going to happen, okay? The Bears, they're billionaires. We're giving tax breaks to billionaires, right? That's becoming more and more apparent. The Chuck Pullen marginalized person is now being kind of moving to the center, especially when people are hurting. You're in there saying, oh, Illinois, here we are. We're thinking about Indiana. At the same time, people they don't have any money. And they don't have
and now
any
we're going to pay
food.
tax.
And now we're
going
to we're going to put a tax through to give you money. Oh, maybe we won't.
Here's
do
a
that.
1% food and beverage when you have to go out to eat because you have no power and have no refrigerator. Running. Like that's,
Yeah. So it's hard to parse the BS, and people don't want that. Like this, you know, he wants to be angry. I want to go after NIPSCO, rah, rah. And I'm okay with that. But not today, dude.
Well,
I mean, I'm sitting there.
I feel like the conversations now need to be, who is in on this with me? What are we going to do? Like, what are our next steps? Like, organizing needs to happen to kind of keep that momentum going. Because like you said, all these people who are angry right now are going to get power next week, and then it's going to be on to the new flavor of the week or whatever the problem is. And I mean, I think NIPSCO would be perfectly happy to, you know, tiptoe past that and not answer any questions and just get back to business as usual and ask for that rate increase in 2028.
It's the new hate. What's the new hate next? Well, now it's NIPSCO today. What's the new hate tomorrow?
Right.
And that gets old. You know what I mean? It just gets old when there was no real efforts to make things better after what we knew was a problem in 2008.
Right.
And we're going to go after NIPSCO. We're going to stand up for the little guy. Okay. Let me see if that happens.
Accountability is complicated for a privately held company that, yes, there are these state governing, you know, appointed boards that manage this. But again, like, what is the real accountability there? And like, to organize people and harness that anger, like, that's what people need. That's what you need to hold them accountable.
I agree.
But again, like,
harnessing the anger is, I'm sitting here listening to it and I'm like, you guys all, I mean, I had to come in today because I was just getting blown up. You need to go on and talk about this and that. But you guys do a great job.
Well, thank you.
Of dealing, but during this inland hurricane, I think the general dissatisfaction and the general anger and the general agitation of people is being shown. In other words, we're seeing the wounds right now during this crisis time.
Yeah.
Now, NIPSCO is the flavor of the week to hate right now, and I get that. But is that helping anything? I mean, fine. I would just assume I'd like to pay lower rates, and I'd like
hate
to.
without organization and action is a waste of energy.
Exactly.
So
and
there
that's all
needs
this
to be
is.
that action behind it too.
So-
Right.
Anyways, in answer to your question of who made you God, nobody made me God. I just been doing
And
this
if
for.
so, I don't think you'd want all that damage to your house.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Anyways, let's see if we can take some more.
Before we get to the one phone call, I do want to shout out. We just posted this on our Facebook page. So if you guys want to go to WJOB Network on Facebook, you will see that we posted this flyer, which is providing information for emergency assistance available for North Township residents. North Township trustee Adrian Santos is offering emergency assistance to eligible North Township residents in East Chicago, Griffith, Hammond, Highland, Munster, and Whiting. Residents can apply for assistance Monday through Wednesday from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And with this assistance, you will receive a $50 Strike and Van Til's gift card, one per household. Assistance is available on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Card distribution is Thursday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you are able to go to the East Chicago office on 2100 Broadway Street, as well as the Hammond office, 5947 Holman Avenue. Please share this information with anyone in the North Township community who may benefit from this assistance. Again, this flyer is on our Facebook and our Instagram, WJOB Network and WJOB 1230 on Instagram, as well as we said earlier in the show about NIPSCO putting these orange flyers on people's doors, and it is telling you about the damage to your electric service connection and all the information that goes along with that. So to see these again, go ahead and go to our socials. We are unable to put it on the computers because it's just that connection issue with emails. It's just not sending through right now at the moment.
219-845-1100.
We do got a
trying to
phone
take
call.
trying to take some phone calls. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Oh, it's loading right now. Give it a second. Apparently.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Coos, go ahead and
Can
talk.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're on the line, we could barely hear. So I just want to say a couple things. I sent you those orange flyers from someone from NIPSCO. So real quickly, if the weatherhead is where the electric comes in your house, if you've sustained damage and it's not fixed, you're not going to get electric, is what they're trying to tell you. So if you have to go out and look and see where your electric comes into your house and make sure that that's still operational, because the trees pulled a lot of those out. So that's for your personal thing, you have to take care of that. NIPSCO's not going to redo your weatherhead. They'll connect the electric to the weatherhead, but they won't do that. So anyway, just real quick about the whole NIPSCO thing, and George, showing his viewpoint. Right now, we're trying to get people's powers back on and make sure that people have food and water. I think that's way more important than worrying about what's going to happen in a case that's going to run itself out. It'll play itself out. If I were NIPSCO and I was CEO, here's what I would tell all my people. We just got paid. Whether that's good or bad, we just got paid. Let's go and get the region back energized. They can fight that out in court later, but there are people that are struggling out here, and we should be putting all of our efforts toward getting their power back, getting food back. People lost all their food. They lost all this stuff. And on the radio, instead of getting good information like you guys have been bringing out, you're going to argue about whether NIPSCO's a monopoly or not. I think that's tone deaf on George's part. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, Jim. Don't listen to some of that garbage, because that's what that is. That's garbage. The functionality of this station right now is people know what's going on, to make sure they know the North Township's doing what they're doing, and a beacon of information. So continue to do what you're doing. I can't hear on this end, and I'm very interested in hearing from the people of Munster, because everyone needs to know what's going on. And that's why they're listening. They don't want to listen to people bitch and moan about if NIPSCO's a monopoly or not when Rome is burning.
Hey, go ahead. Thank you. You can hear me. We're going to end that phone call. All right, a couple announcements here in that vein. I understand, just so you know, Michelle, I understand people's anger and frustration, and all I'm saying is that it's coming out right now, and I can feel it.
Right.
People stop me to tell me about something that's wrong, and I listen.
Right.
And I want to listen to that as we unfold over the next few weeks.
Sure.
Could definitely bring it. But right now, Kuziak's right. We just got to get through this week. And in that vein, Town of Munster is going to come up.
Yep.
We're going to leave now. And then also, Todd Rokita is going to call in, and he's going to talk about emergency relief efforts. Now, he's going to call in to Lori Whalen's phone, and she's going to come in and hold it to the microphone. It's the only way we can do that right now.
Right.
So I'm going to leave. I got things to do. Once again, it's my mission to create a mini Big Ten network. We did a little bit of it last year, and we're moving into it. If your company wants to support being next to high school athletes, just get a hold of me at jed@wjob1230.com.
Cool.
So take a short break, Adriana. Let's see if we come back with Todd Rokita, and then you bring him in. All right?
All right.
Be right back.